All right. We have some exciting news. No, just kidding. We have some interesting news. We have a Halloween game announced, a asymmetrical and single player Halloween game with the team at Ilphonic and Gun. Now, we can all easily shit on this project. We could all easily shill this project. It's not necessarily a bad thing. This is definitely one of my favorite IPs, along with Friday the 13th. And I can't help but have concerns, you know, but I also have a little bit of excitement with this project. I do have a little bit of excitement because it's Halloween and it's being overseen by John Carpenter, which is huge. Now, the trailer was well designed. I I liked the whole, it was like a trailer to a Halloween movie feel. And hearing the score, hearing John Carpenter's the synths, it hits me every time. And having the camera pan down, Haddonfield, and you're seeing different kill scenes and everything. It's pretty dope. It did strike some excitement for me, and but it also struck a lot of concerns, and I have to address that. Like, I really do have to address the concerns because I've been here before. Now, I will say, I know it's early, it's not official gameplay, but seeing the player model, seeing how it was moving, I have it playing slow down for the sake of the video, just to have to talk, but to see it look like a Ilphonic game, gun game, is hilarious. Like, they have the same booty posture. Uh, it's accurate, I guess, to what they do. Now, the exciting part is we have a Halloween game. We have John Carpenter overlooking this, and that's definitely something worth noting. Now, it could be a thing where he just says, "Ah, yeah, fuck it, just put it out there." It could happen. Um, now, hold on, I'm gonna pause it because Michael right here, this Michael right here, if you guys know, it kind of looks like Halloween 2 Michael, but then looks like Halloween 1. This is definitely some OG Michael here. Uh a lot slimmer build. Obviously the later movies, he was the build, he was he was bigger, pause. But I will say that there's a chance it can work out pretty well. It's a big IP in the horror world. I want to say pretty big, even in the casual brain-minded people. Like, everyone knows who Michael Myers is. I can see people. I've seen people now. Oh, I'm getting that Michael Myers game. So it's probably going to be huge, just like how Friday the 13th was huge. Um, I guess my wish list or hopes for this game is that it definitely has crossplay. It has to have the crossplay, which I'm sure it will have crossplay. Um, but one of my biggest problems I'm having with these games is pretty much longevity. The games, which it's just a concern because, like, I've been here before, like I said. I'm obviously, we have John Carpenter's hand on this, so I don't think rights should be the biggest issue. You see Mustafa Akkad as well in the credits, so that's a huge thing to have for a Halloween franchise. And I don't want to get too nerdy with the horror details. I do have a horror movie channel, so so I kind of know a lot about this. But as far as rights go, you're guaranteed to at least have Halloween 1 through 8. Um, so that's Resurrection, H2O, Curse of Michael Myers, 5, 4, 2, and 1. if they somehow do some season of the witch stuff on here, that would be interesting. I'm not gonna lie. That would be kind of cool. I like to see that, but I definitely think you don't have to worry about like the Friday the 13th and Texas Chainsaw situation, especially Texas Chainsaw. That was probably worse. Friday the 13th at least gave you a lot of different Jasons, even though they didn't do it legally the right way. They didn't. There's a lot of people involved that they kind of missed, but yeah, with Texas Chainsaw, it was definitely disappointing that they only had the rights to the first movie, so you were just stuck with a bunch of custom made characters, and it just yeah. Uh, but I will say like my, I am gonna be naturally excited. I hope it comes to Game Pass. I ain't gonna lie. I'm just worried, dude, because like I've been here. I've been excited already. I've been excited for Friday the 13th, Texas Chainsaw. I was once excited for Killer Clowns, and then I seen the gameplay, and I was like, I don't know. Plus, I'm not the biggest Killer Clowns fan, IP wise. The Predator game, it took years for it to get good. Like I'm talking years, years. It's good now. It's definitely a good game now, but it's dead. And actually, speaking of dead, I can show you guys dead. So this is what I'm concerned about. We're gonna get to it right here. So this is Friday the 13th, the game. This game is delisted. This game is shut down. And there's 31 people playing right now. And a peak of 39 in 24 hours. Almost 40 players on a game that's delisted and offline. It could be because they're playing the Friday 13th mod, where they pretty much just bring the game back online, and that's cool. That's really cool. People are holding on to that hope from Friday 13th, because this is what started it all. Well, really Dead by Daylight, but as far as official releases, based on one IP, this is what kicked it off. I loved Friday the 13th, but I have to admit, Friday the 13th was busted. It was broken. It was jank. And some of that was part of the charm. I'm not gonna lie. It was part of the charm of the game, but it was busted in a bad way as well, because I remember like not being able to play the game for the first like week. It just didn't work. You couldn't get into a match. If you got into a match, you stay there, and then sometimes it'll just kick everyone out. But Friday 13th had the presentation on point, from the music, the Jason, the sound effects, the immersion of each map, from Packanack Lounge to Crystal Lake, all that stuff. Those games made you feel like you were playing in Friday the 13th, and that's what made Friday the 13th dope to me. And the Jason being randomized each round, there's a lot of Jasons to choose from, so it was like a different experience every time, every time. um Early on, there wasn't too much meta because everyone didn't have all their perks unlocked, so it was just fun. Okay, then we go years down the line, they fix the game up, but then they mess up and forget to sign all the papers. They get into some legal issues with the game, and they can't make any more content. They were just about to drop the Jason X, the Jason Takes Manhattan content. They had a lot going. Luckily, it got released through fans, and and we were able to see it, and it was dope. There was some dope stuff they added to the game. Adding the Jason X was sick. It was sick. He had some cool kills. They had all the kills that they recorded with Kane Hodder, who was the guy who played Jason in these games. And I think Kane Hodder does the mocap for this Halloween as well. So either way, the kills are gonna be fine. Kane Hodder knows how to toss a body around, so it'll be good. But yeah, Friday 13 was great. It was great, but it had its issues. It had its performance issues, and you kind of overlooked it because of the legal situation that went down with this game. And you just enjoyed it. It was a fun game. You had big lobbies. A lot of people could play together. It was a fun stream game, just a game to play. And there's people that took it serious, they play the hell out of it. But there was one issue, I'll besides everything else, you had perks, and you had a perk system and like loadouts with perks, and it just turned into like this meta fest eventually. You just got to play meta because the Jason was playing meta, and you, as a survivor, you had to play meta. And I think the issue there was the perks. I think if we just take away perks and just make the characters have different stats, different speeds and staminas, uh, just keep it like that. Like each character, this guy might be fast. Just like, I mean, that's how it kind of was. This character could put batteries in the car faster than this person, but this person was strong and fast. But then they had a perk system that would like basically give you buffs. That's all. It was buffs only. So, you can have ×2 putting batteries in, or ×2 speed, ×2 strength. It was little things like that. You swim faster, this and that. Oh, they had little perks. You always had a radio. You always had a pocket knife. You start off with a pocket knife. It was just things, all kinds of different things. I think the perks kind of that's nothing that diminished the longevity of the game, besides them actually shutting the game down. So there goes that game. Friday the 13th game, great game. I enjoyed the experience. I would never want to take that away. But Friday the 13th, it fucked up. It died. And it's died, like literally died. You can't play it, you can't buy it. You were not able to buy it for a long time, and this is where it's at. It's gone. We should be still playing that game. Okay, then we move on to the next game, which is Predator Hunting Grounds. Another dope game, but this took a long time. Now this you can still buy. It's on sale right now, actually. Like $10 or something like that. Maybe even cheaper on PC. It took a long time. Now, this definitely was during the era where we didn't have crossplay, but now it has crossplay, but it was still buggy. It was pretty much dead and very unbalanced. And it has the same thing. Oh, that's another thing I forgot to touch on, is balancing. These games have a balancing issue. And the problem with these games is they listen to these streamers, they listen to these YouTubers, the people on Twitter that's crying. Killer's too strong, Predator's too strong. Family's too strong, blah blah blah, too strong. Like, dude, they're supposed to be strong. You're a victim. Like, you're the victim in this situation. Okay, they're the dominant one, and it sucks because they listen to these people, and they'll make them good. They'll make the survivors good, and now the survivors are running the show. And it's like, no, it doesn't work like that, especially in games like Friday the 13th and Texas Chainsaw. But here we go, the all-time peak. Now this is by Ilphonic. Okay, this is by Ilphonic. People are working on this game. All-time peak of 1,491 players. Now there's 177 people playing right now. So in an ASIM game, that's not that bad. That's a good couple lobbies. So you're gonna find some matches, okay? And that's not including console. Maybe there's more on console. We don't know that. We don't have a console charts, a PlayStation charts, an Xbox charts, a Switch charts. We don't have that. We have Steam charts. Steam DB. That's the only thing that works. It's pulling live data. So 177 players. It's definitely more than Friday the 13th. Obviously, it's still alive. It's on sale. So we actually might have a little peak of players. You might have a lot of players, especially right now. It's 8:00 in the morning. People are at school. People are at work. People are doing other things. So yeah, it might be a little dead right now. But 24 hours ago, it was 200, almost 300, close to 300, players. So you're going to find a match. So that's a good thing, right? If you bought it right now, it's cheap and it's super old. This game is old as HE double hockey sticks, right? So old game, but it took a long time to get fixed. Okay, and look, it peaked at 1,000 players. Friday 13th peaked at 16,000 players, and Friday 13th, you were finding matches all the time. So that was another good thing. And this didn't have crossplay either. I have this game on Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. I have this game everywhere. I found matches on all platforms easily. So this game was alive and well. Now Predator, you can't find a match as smooth back then. Didn't have crossplay. It didn't have what it has now. So now that we have crossplay, it's definitely a lot better. Um, but it had the same issues, balancing issues, listening to the fans, listening to the crybabies. Like, dude, just make your own game. Okay, but content wise, it was fine. It was fine. They got the right licenses. It was fine. I don't know what else it could be missing besides like Alien, but this is called Predator Hunting Grounds. You know, it's different. It's definitely different, but it's still cool. It's still a cool ass game. You know, but it's another. We've been here before. You know, that's basically two dead games already. This is a DOA game. Apparently, it's only Dead on Arrival. It's only 1400 peak on PC. You know. Now we're going to another one that should have been another slam dunk. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Oh, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now this is a game out just like Friday the 13th, just like I am now. I love this IP as well. Solid horror movie IP. There's only like a small handful of bad ones, and then that's it. It's a great IP. A lot of characters you can add in this game from the franchise. But once again, this one's by Gun. We have limited rights, so you're gonna have a limited amount of characters, and the other characters you get are gonna be custom made as fuck. These custom killers, custom shit. So you're losing a lot of the immersion because you're seeing custom build characters, and it damn near looks like mods now. You know, that's just me, but well, we do got an all-time peak of 17,000. We're itching closer to 20K players now. These games have small communities, you know, that's one thing, and it shows. But it's a good small community because they're all playing. They're always playing. Like the people that play these games, they play them all fucking day. Because all only thing to do in these games is to level up, and then people just love leveling up. They love doing that shit over and over and over all day. That's all they do. There's no true progression, and we'll talk about that later. But we have 382 players, 473 24 hours ago. So that's pretty decent. In the ASIM world, that's pretty decent. In a normal world, these are dead games for sure. For sure. But in the asymmetrical world, that's pretty good. That if Xbox and PlayStation have at least 300 on each one, and then you add this with PlayStation, that's a decent amount of players. You're gonna find a match. But the queue times for this are a lot different because there's more killers. You have to get 3 killers and 4 survivors. So it's just an issue. This game has a balancing issue as well, where the game came out and honestly it was fine. My favorite part of the game was the beta. The beta was really good because there was no perks. There's none of that skill tree shit. You just had your characters, and each character had their little pros and cons, kind of like Friday the 13th, and it was perfect. There was, you know, one girl, her special was to unlock things really fast. Other person was really fast. One person was really strong; it could knock them down. You know, it's just everyone had their own little quirks, and I loved it. I loved that. It was fine, and then the game came out. Obviously, people still didn't have their builds yet and all that, so it was still fine when the game came out. But then once the builds and the meta started to form, it just got boring. You have survivors leaving the map in seconds. I was one of them. I have it on stream. Me just like literally leaving the map in seconds or minutes. Like I'm talking like, man, Leatherface is still revving his chainsaw. I'm already out the basement type shit. Like I'm already out the basement, bro. And I hated that. Like I hated that I was doing that. I was like, dude, this is so trash. And it's not against the killers. Yeah, you could say trash killers, blah, blah, blah. But dude, the fact that the game allowed it to get to that point is just so trash, bro. Like, where's the like it started off so good. Like these games start off so good for like 60 days. The first 60 days in an ASIM, especially in an IP you like, is pure joy. Like it's pure bliss. You're just like, oh man, this is scary. This is fun. Woo! Where do we go? Where do we go? What do I do? You know, it is fun. You're trying different characters, different. It's just fun, dude. But then the skill trees and the perks come in, and then people start figuring out, oh, you can do, oh, you can skip this, oh. Then Then when they can't pull off their metas because the killers are killing them like what they're supposed to do. Killers are too strong. Killers are too so the killers are getting nerfed. They're slowed down. This and that. So survivors are just doing whatever the fuck they want on these maps. You know, running around like little Tenchu ninjas. Sorry. um, and it's just yeah. So where we're at now. We're down to 300 players. We don't have 1,000 players at least. You know, I would if it stayed at 1,000, I'd say, oh, you know, it's a little older and there's other games out. You know, but it's these. I hate to say it, like the perks and these builds doesn't work out for these type of games because this isn't Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight, it's fine because it's not officially licensed game. It's its own game, and that's the system it built upon from the start with the perks and your loadouts and everything, your flashlights and all that shit. You know, it works in Dead by Daylight. It's not a full game dedicated to Texas Chainsaw or a full Halloween game or a full Friday the 13th game. I still love Dead by Daylight because that's the game that it is. It's the game with the perks. It's played like that. It's how it's supposed to be. These games, I look at them differently because you're supposed to be immersed into the IP. And Texas Chainsaw has this, I'm telling you, it had the immersion at launch, and especially in the beta. The immersion was there because you were helpless. It was like, cool, I can play this. I'm scared. I feel out of place. Like when you're a victim, you feel like you're not supposed to be there. But when the perk system and your meta builds and you start listening to the community and you unbalance the game, there's no immersion. You're just like, all right, guys, you're running strats like you're playing fucking competitive Halo, you know what I'm saying, or competitive COD. You're literally running strats. All right, I'm gonna run to this toolbox, blah, 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 and then you're out the basement. All right, I'm gonna go here, get it. You guys are, and I mean, you're supposed to do that in general, be strategic and everything, but it's like meta stress. It's straight like everyone's out the map in minutes. So the killer's got to play a certain way now, you know, and it's just not like you're not playing Texas Chainsaw. You're just it's like a fucking a tournament, a competitive game now. It's like, well, when you're playing a Texas Chainsaw game, I don't think it's supposed to be like that, to be honest. If you're playing Dead by Daylight, I can see that because you're just playing a game that has the IP as a guest character. It's a totally different thing, okay? But here we go, another game. It's not dead, but it's dead. Look at 300 players, 382 players, and balancing issues. All right, now we got another one. Now this is the newest one from these guys. All right, the newest one. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. All-time peak of 3,000 players. 24 hours ago, there was 46 players. Shout out to Boogeyman TV. He was one of them. Right now, there's 2 players. One of them is Boogeyman TV. Shout out to him, man. He's keeping that game alive. You want to know why that game right now has it flatlined? It's because of Boogeyman TV. Okay, he carries that game. Shout out to him. Check him out on YouTube. He plays this game. If you guys want to add 2 more players to that number, join him. He'll stream it any day of the week for you. Seriously. But anyways, Killer Clowns from Outer Space is a game that is an IP I don't care about like that. I don't think it was worthy of an ASIM game, to be honest. There's a lot of IPs that were better. Okay, that could have been picked for this. Clown House. If we're gonna pick fucking obscure IPs, you should have did Clown House. That would have been way better of an IP than Killer Clowns. But anyways, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Once again, balancing issues, listening to the fans. Killer's too strong. Clowns are too strong. Now, this game I don't like. I don't like this game. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like this game in general. I don't like the IP. Zero interest. So I'm not going to speak too much on this, other than the fact that you see here, it's a dead IP equals a dead game. You can find a match because there's probably like 2 players on PlayStation, 2 players on Xbox, and 2 players on PC. You got yourself a lobby, and you throw a Boogeyman TV stream on there. There you go. That's a lobby. Enjoy the night, you know. So he carries this game for sure. So shout out to him, man. He carries this game. This is his shit. He every day he tries to get me on this game. I can't. No. I'll go on Predator. I'll play fucking Texas Chainsaw, but I'm not playing this. um, Another game with balancing issues, perks, all that shit. I think the problem we hate here is we we got to get our balancing right. We got to get our perks right. Now, I'll bring this game up for shits and giggles, but I don't want to count it for a lot of reasons. So, but I will still just bring it up because it's another single IP ASIM. So Evil Dead the game is not made by Gun or Ilphonic. This is also delisted. Servers are up. All-time peak of 568. It's hard to say because this was a Epic game exclusive at one point on PC, and then switched to Steam like way later into its lifespan. Another game started off, dude, that first 30 days, that first 60 days, that rush is great, man. And another game riddled with skill trees and perks and all that shit. I just think that doesn't belong in these type of games. Now this game was different because it had different roles. You had a healer role, leader role, your tank role. It had different, roles you can play, and it was cool. And playing the demon was cool. It was like a RTS almost, except then it turns into that you could possess somebody or possess a grunt that you have to attack, and if they're driving a car, you could possess the car. It had a lot of cool, really, really cool aspects to the game. Now, this game, I saw it dying like instantly because they were crying, "Demon's too strong. This demon's that strong." Dude, you just had to figure it out. Now, this game had the perk system and skill tree, which you could readjust your skill tree to what was going on, and that's what helped me dominate the strong demons. But if you see what I'm going on with this, where I'm getting to this is balancing. The balancing has to be on point for Halloween, man. That's just the ultimate thing here. Balancing has to be on point. And as far as content, you have to include as much of the Halloween franchise as possible. Having a Haddonfield map, having a hospital map, having different moments from different Halloweens maps would help. If you had a Halloween 8 map, Halloween 7, the school campus map, Halloween 6, you could have where they're doing the rituals at that map. If you don't want to put Halloween 3 characters, maybe like survivors you could have in there, have Tom Atkins as a character. I don't know what they would do, but you could have the map, the Silver Shamrock Warehouse as a map or something. That'd be cool. Different, just different things with Halloween. Is try to include. I'm not worried about that part as far as this game. I guess I'm more worried about the balancing, them ruining it by listening to the fan base too much, to the streamers. That ruins the game. That ruins the game. I'm sorry. And I'm not trying to sound like a scrub here. I just feel like the problem in these games, I'm seeing a trend of balancing plus skill trees and perks. Just let the characters have different pros and cons. This guy's slow, this one's fast. This one hits hard, this one's weak. This one has no health, this one's a lot of health. This one could take a couple stabs and a throw and a choke slam, and this one can't. That's the best way to do it. Adding different perks that you have to build upon and all this stuff, and make sure you only can pick one of each character. Don't have 7 Laurie Strodes running around doing decisive strike or some shit. I don't know how you want to go about it, but it will help the game if it's just the game, and you're gonna lose immersion once you have to keep that immersion in the game to keep it fun, man. But there's the one thing that's still missing from these games, though, I will say, is progression. And it's not just XP. What I mean by progression is, like, I could tell a lot of people haven't played Outlast Trials, which has a lot of progression besides just XP. XP. Now, this game is not an ASIM though, but it's still, 4 people versus some killers. But there's still goals you have to do. It's not just escape. It's more so there's missions. There's things you got to do. All right. The main goal is to kill the snitch. But before you even get to that, get to the snitch, you got to get to him and unlock the door, find the keys, and there's dudes chasing you, and only thing you have is a brick and some glass bottles and some night vision goggles. And then you don't have too much night vision. You have batteries. You have to get batteries and stuff, and there's traps and jump scares everywhere, and people trying to fuck with your psychosis. And Outlast Trials is a very intense game, and it's very gory. It's a lot of immersion, constant immersion. There's not too much immersion breaking in the game, but um, it definitely has progression because on your first time playing, you have a lot of maps to go through and missions. There's like the main way to play the missions. It's like the main mission where each mission is at least 30 plus minutes long, and then there's like side missions. You go back through to play the same stage, but it has different challenges for you to do and missions to do. That's a lot of replayability, and then you're unlocking more missions. And they have a lot of content now. They have a prestige mode, and then different difficulties, and like, oh, you could play this mission, but you'll have no night vision, and you'll know this, know that. Different things to do. A lot of progression. There's things to unlock in game. You could, you're like in like this like almost like Saw trials almost, and you're in like this hospital looking place. You're in this like asylum, and you could decorate your little asylum room with stuff to unlock and different skins. You could buy skins. There's a lot of things you can do, and I don't know if there's a meta for it quite because I'm not that high level into the game. I'm not prestiged or anything, but I'm pretty sure the game gets easier. But that's why they ramp the difficulty up in the challenges, because you have all these perks, I guess. Yeah, you have perks in that game too, but it works because there's no one crying that this boss is too strong, these enemies are too strong. People are just playing it. And you could change your build. You could be like, all right, I want to have a stun build where my thing could stun the enemy so I can at least escape. But you gotta wait for it to cool down. And then I don't mean escape the map. You're just escaping that situation of him chasing you. And then in a game like Outlast Trials, they add more enemies. The further you get, they add more people. Like, you think you're never safe, it's never calm. If you take too long, they'll bring more people out. Like, it's crazy, and you never lose that immersion. So for Halloween, we have to keep the immersion for the multiplayer. Try to eliminate as much of this meta shit as possible. Let the characters have basic pros and cons. Let the different Michael Myers have different Michael Myers masks. Please stick to the original ones first before you start making Savini Michaels and all these other Robo Michaels and all that shit. Just keep it simple. There's 8 Halloweens to go through. Use those first, please. Different pros and cons. Make it simple. Keep the music, of course. Keep the stages. Before we start adding anything custom made, some new shit, just make sure you have the original legacy first. There's gonna be a lot of old folks that don't play video games that are gonna play this. A lot of hardcore fans like myself. We're gonna be looking for all that. I'm excited for it, but I'm just saying I'm concerned, and I hope the single player is good. I hope the single player is good and enough content to keep the people that don't play multiplayer into the game. So I'm glad they added single player. I hope it's not just bots with like a cutscene, a bot mode with just a cutscene, and then that's it, in between levels. But like I said, John Carpenter's behind it. Hopefully he'll take care of it, but you have to be cautious with Ilphonic and Gunn. They've been getting us, man. They've been getting us. They've been preying on people that like these IPs, and I'm just tired of it. I had to speak up. I'm not shitting on it. I'm just addressing concerns and addressing the facts here right now. So hopefully they can see stuff like this. I'm pretty sure they look at the data, not just the sales. Look at the data and go from there. You can see what each game has and what you don't need in this game. So we haven't seen gameplay. So once we get to that point, hopefully it's gonna impress us. We're gonna like it. I'm telling you, we're all gonna enjoy it for 60 days. It's just how they move from post launch is what's gonna matter. And that's all that counts. But at the end of the day, I'm still gonna have it. We'll stream it. We're gonna have content on it on this channel either way. So don't worry. Stay tuned for more. Thanks for listening to my rant. I just had to speak about it and just kind of just let people know. If you didn't know already, if you don't know, now you know. Insert word. But yes. Scully from Next Gen Nostalgia. Halloween's coming 2026. So be prepared. We'll be streaming it, talking about it. But all right, y'all. Peace out. Oh, and shout out to the new subscribers. Hell yeah. Shout out to you guys. You guys are dope. But I'm getting out of here. It's been 35 minutes. I'm out. Peace.